I'd like to call the Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting to order. At this time, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance and then invocation led by Commissioner Tony Bear. All rise.
Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, I thank you for this beautiful day. It's always a beautiful day in your creation. I thank you for the privilege of living in America, greatest country in the world, country where people can come to government meetings like this and express their opinions without fear of retribution afterwards. Free communication is important to a free society. Hope you will watch over us today, and I pray that everyone will make their comments, conduct themselves in a fashion that pleases you, Lord. And when the meeting's over, will you please watch over everyone as they travel home and get everyone home safe to their families and their loved ones. I ask this in Jesus' name, and all God's people say amen. Amen.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Bear.
Present.
Commissioner Walls.
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Present.
Commissioner Duckham.
Here.
Commissioner Pileski.
Here.
Commissioner Willis.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Present.
Commissioner Snell.
Here.
Chairman Shotwell.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. We have a motion and support. Any questions or additions? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Duly carried. We have no awards and recognition this evening. If there are any communications or petitions from the audience, please place them in front of the clerk. Seeing none, we have no special orders of business. We've arrived at the first opportunity for public comment. Public comment guidelines are each individual will state their name. You will have 3 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate or answer questions at this time. First chance for public comment.
Rosemary Tanner. Commissioners, I am talking to each one of you. Police Week was completed May 18th, and as a voter, resident of Jackson County, and president of the Law Enforcement Guild, I am publicly stating how disappointed that this board chose not to recognize the law enforcement officers in this county. Actions speak louder than words, and this action speaks volumes. Whatever differences politically or personally you may have had with law enforcement, this was not the time to demonstrate that. Any one of you could have taken the initiative to at least make an attempt to support the officers. I am truly disappointed with every one of you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amador Ibarra. I live in Summit Township. I'm here to speak out against the Jackson County Sheriff's Office enrolling in the Immigration and Customs Enforcement 287G program. Enrolling in the 287G program was not brought before the people. It was not discussed with those it would most affect. It was instead quietly signed into place, bypassing the input of Jackson County's residents. The cost of participation in this program will be on the taxpayers. All expenses for training, including transportation, housing, and meal allowances, will be put on the taxpayers of Jackson County. All expenses for deputies performing immigration officer duties, as well as the cost of filling in behind them to cover regular jail duties, are the responsibility of the taxpayer of Jackson County. I'm calling on the county commissioners as well to send a request for review to the county administrator's office. I'm asking to have this program reviewed for potential legal and fiscal liability, as well as projected costs of participation in the program. Cost projections to include the cost to send any and all deputies to training, the cost of filling in with deputies on their regular assignments while in training, the cost of deputies performing immigration officer duties, the cost of filling in behind those deputies on their regular assignments, and the cost of housing people who are detained based on Jackson County's participation in this program. Review of this process will ensure the people of Jackson County are aware of potential liabilities for misuse and negligence. I urge you to stop this partnership, stand up for fiscal and legal responsibility, stand up for transparency, and most of all, for the people who call this county home. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gayla Ignacio. I live in the city of Jackson. I'm here also to advocate for disengagement with 287G. I agree with Amador. At the very least, I think there needs to be a review of cost and liability. Besides that, Ingham County Sheriff, Lansing City, and even our state police have said verbally out loud they are not going to help and support ICE. We're a neighboring county, and secretly just the opposite happened. I started a coalition, Jackson County for Immigrants. Within the first week, there were a couple hundred people who wanted to be involved. We're waiting to hear back from Sheriff Schutte. He was kind enough to meet with us. He spent 3.5 hours. I really appreciated that. I appreciated him coming. But there are lots more who want to speak on this issue and be heard. And so we have a request in for a town hall. We have people all the way from Spring Arbor University. We have Christian. We have non-religious atheist. We have black, brown, and white. We have young and old. We have Republicans and Democrats, all a part of this coalition against 287G. I'm a mental health therapist, and we have this idea and understanding of how humans work. You can either stretch yourself, you can be willing to learn more, you can grow, you can be open to new ideas. It makes you flexible like a rubber band. You can atrophy. You cannot be open to new ideas. You can make statements like, I know what I think, and you can become hard, brittle, and rigid in your thinking. It makes people narrow-minded. It makes them not look at the statistics that 35 to 37% in different research studies show that immigrants and undocumented immigrants are that much less likely to commit crime. They're entrepreneurs. They're 50% more likely to start businesses. They have traditional family values. They bring goodness, diversity, flexibility to our communities. We have local business leaders on the coalition.
20 seconds, ma'am.
Thank you. They've already seen a 50% decrease in their business traffic, and they're upset as well. I hope you will at least review this.
My name is Kathy Kraft, and we didn't plan this, I promise. I'm here today to express my disgust with the decision of Sheriff's Department cooperating with ICE agents. I understand that this is a propaganda stunt rather than a real safety issue. Not everyone has the privilege and honor of working with refugee youth as I did. And the people hate or fear people that they don't know. So let me introduce you. First, of course, I've changed the names. First, there was Phil. He was shorter and smaller than some of the other boys. He was raised by his grandparents who were Christians, and that's how he learned how to play the piano. But when the gang started coming around to recruit him, they knew they needed to get him out of there fast. He traveled through the jungle by himself, no coyote, to the United States. He was behind at school at first, but he worked hard and soon caught up. He was a hard worker and once said, "America is a good place if you want to work hard." Then there was Sam. He was bigger and quieter than some of the other boys. But I think he wanted to become a pastor because he would lead he asked if he could lead a Bible study at the house. Usually everyone attended. These boys are from Africa, but they took the same route as the boys from Latin America. There was Ricky. He was a terrible loser at Uno. But he was a skilled soccer player, and he played on the intramural team and volunteered to translate for the coach for the Spanish-speaking boys and soon became the coach's favorite. Then there was Billy. He was Catholic, and he spoke 3 languages and just graduated from the University of Michigan. Then there was Al. He's a 4.0 student, and I will let him speak for himself. Thank you for my case manager, my teacher, and all the staff. May the Almighty God bless you all. I am overgrateful to be part of this beautiful family. With God, I will not let you guys down. One day you will be proud of me, I promise. Generally speaking, they all love soccer and they all wanted to be Lionel Messi. I used to take them to Ellishup Park and they would play soccer until dark. When playing on the intramural team against Northwestern, I had one of the Northwestern boys players say to his coach, "I can't do that." And soon the coach tried to recruit them for his team because he knew that their talents would make the whole team stronger. Under this administration, whose respect for law is non-existent, those boys are targets.
20 seconds, ma'am.
There are 4 prisons, countless halfway houses, countless drug houses, not to mention the shootings. And it seems to me that those are the real safety concern of Jackson County. Instead of looking to the border for criminals, the good people of Jackson County should look in the mirror.
My name is Mike Anastasiadis. My given name is Mikhail Anastasiadis. Where do you live, sir? I live in Jackson, Michigan.
Thank you.
Let me start by saying that I didn't have any intentions of speaking, but I've had enough of listening to this. 1971, my parents came to this country legally. It took them 18 months to get their visas. I am an immigrant. I came to this country at 3 years old. We have been here for 54 years, legally. We did not jump a border. We did not cross a border illegally. We have not committed any crimes. I don't agree with any of this. And what Sheriff Schuette is doing, I agree with. So I don't care what the rest of this room says. I applaud Sheriff Schuette and what he's doing. And I hope he continues to do it. I agree with the Trump administration. I agree with ICE. And I agree with him sending every illegal immigrant back to where they came from. Thank you.
Good evening, Christy Davis. I live in the city of Jackson. Rosemary, how many weeks has it been? What? For the class? We're gonna graduate next week, aren't we? I think so. Sorry. I've been doing the Citizens Police Academy with Rosemary, and we're just trying to figure out how many weeks it's been. I think it's been like 8. 7 weeks, thank you. I would just highly encourage, I've encouraged lots of other people to do it. The next time it comes up as an opportunity, the Citizens Police Academy for you guys to do, it's good. It's a really good experience. I've had a lot of really good, interesting conversations with, it's the city sheriffs, MSP was there. We've had ATF. It's just a great experience. So I just wanted to highly encourage you guys. Just kind of gives you a different perspective of things, especially when you're out talking with your citizens. It gives you a different perspective, gives you the police perspective, and it might be able to help with some of your conversations with your citizens. So just wanted to share that. Thank you so much.
My name is Fred Trexler. I live in Summit Township. and I hear a contradiction of things. I hear people advocating for illegal aliens, yet I'm sure they oppose gun violence. And I agree with Sheriff Schuette's cooperation with ICE in sending illegal aliens back to where they came from. As far as gun violence, I think we have a spiritual problem. We have absentee fathers, and we have gangs that already have guns. I think it's a good thing to utilize awarded funds and launch a social media campaign on gun violence and the importance of safely storing firearms. I think that that's a good idea, but we also have to involve the churches, especially the evangelical churches in Jackson County, and try to reach the young people with the gospel of Jesus Christ, because that's the only way to replace hate with love.
Good evening. My name's Jenna Shimileski, and I am a resident of Clark Lake. And I am a seniors real estate specialist with ERA Reardon Realty. There is a position available with the WellWise Area Agency on Aging Board. And I did submit my application. I recognize that I was not selected at the time, but I was encouraged by multiple people to come to this meeting today and advocate why I would be a great candidate for the board. Prior to real estate, I was actually in senior living and senior health care for 13 years. My most recent position, I was the marketing director at Vista Grand Villa. Had a little bit of experience with Earl there. I also have been in marketing positions at assisted livings, skilled nursing facilities, home health care, both private duty, Medicare certified. Prior to that, even growing up, my mom ran group homes for developmentally disabled adults. So I've worked with people with disabilities as well. And to top it all off, I ended up taking care of my parents the last 2 years of their life, as well as currently caretaking for my in-laws. It's a little bit in my blood. I love WellWise and everything that it has to offer. It offers such an amazing community. I'm so proud to be so close with Clark Lake and Brooklyn basically melted into one town basically. WellWise does so much for the local community and the activities. I am super passionate about helping older adults and their families living long, fruitful lives in the different phases of retirement. So much so that because we haven't really had, other than Department on Aging and WellWise, we haven't had a lot of opportunities for education and resources given to the older adult population. So I started an LLC called Silverlink, and I run a networking meeting monthly with a group of, besides WellWise, a lot of other professionals in the area, and we're doing educational events several times a year. I would love the opportunity to give input and to give more into my community, and thank you for your potential consideration. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Shirley Schumann Allegre. I'm from Spring Arbor Township. Recently moved back to the Jackson area, was here previously, and have just been doing a little bit of research and searching of hearts regarding the signing of 287G. I've had the opportunity to work with many immigrants who are hardworking in the United States and have so very much to offer. We're all in this position because people have not done their jobs. And so I'm going to implore that you do yours. I'm not saying you haven't, but I'm going to implore you to do yours. The reason we're in this position is because we have had a Congress that's been in place. They're responsible for implementing the immigration laws, and they've not been doing it. They've not been enforcing it. It's a really tough issue, so they've been pushing it down the road. That's why I'm asking you not to push it down the road. Many things about the undocumented immigrants, they're crucial to the U.S. labor force. I'm not saying that they're all here legally, but many of them are married to legal Americans. The undocumented immigrants do pay billions of dollars in taxes every year. I know that's an argument that's out there, but they do. While they don't have Social Security numbers or legal work authorization, they pay 50 to 70% of them pay taxes. The Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy estimated that there's almost $11.74 billion in state and local taxes paid by undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants don't qualify for many entitlement benefits. However, they pay into the social safety net that protects us. They do not have any safety net for themselves. I implore you to consider not only the costs and benefits the costs that the county will be actually assuming, but also consider the fact that we do have many of these working people in our neighborhoods. And I hope that you will take and have additional consideration on supporting the 287G. And I thank you for the opportunity to speak with all of you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I was having some technical difficulties. Can you repeat your name?
My name is Shirley Schumann Allegre. You're welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners. Gary Schutte, Jackson County Sheriff. So I want to set the record straight on a few items here that I think are a little incorrect. In fact, they're a lot incorrect. And it's important that you understand it in its context. I know I've had discussions with most of you, if not all of you, about this topic, so it should be nothing new to you, but I want to make sure that the record is clear with regard to what 287G is, how 287G even came to be considered by Jackson County, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office in particular. So, first of all, there are 3 programs associated with 287G, and the conflation of those 3 programs, I think, is what's causing the confusion with some of our populace. So, in the program that we have decided to go with, it is called the warrant service model. And under the warrant service model, only when somebody is arrested for a criminal charge, a state criminal charge, and are inside of our jail in custody for a criminal charge, and when they are run through the law enforcement database at that moment in time and show that they have an immigration warrant, 287G under this model allows us to hold that person for a period of 48 hours after they've been released on the state charges. That's it. It is somebody who is already housed in our facility on a local charge regardless. Once they are released, it is only 2 days. That would be in our holding facility. It's not taking up bed space inside of our jail. So it's really critical that is clear. This is not us partnering with immigration. This is not us knocking on doors. This is not us talking to people and trying to determine immigration status. When I looked into this, and mind you, I do not have the technical capability that I used to have when I was a practicing attorney to research this in depth, but I'm fairly confident in the research that I have done that there hasn't been any lawsuits as a result of this this warrant service model. The lawsuits that have arisen as a result of immigration enforcement have been the result of local officers trying to do the job of ICE agents, which they should not be doing, in my humble opinion. It requires an intense amount of training. And when they do that and they go off and try to make some sort of determination and they make a false one, that's when you get into a bind and that's when you become culpable as a result of it. We're not doing that. We're not arresting anybody like that. In fact, my patrol deputies will not be able to arrest anyone even if they knew they had an ICE immigration warrant. It is only for the corrections deputies when a person is already under a criminal charge. This came to light a little earlier in Jackson County, earlier this year in Jackson County, as a result of a person who was involved in quite a violent domestic incident, who stole a car, led my deputies on a chase, wrecked the car into a tree, fought with them, tried to run away, and was taken into custody. Because of the domestic circumstances, the pursuing of those charges did not occur. So we had the criminal charges associated with the fleeing and the eluding and the resisting of arrest. He was granted a low bond, he made it, and he had an ICE immigration warrant. We had contacted ICE with regard to that warrant, and once he had made bond, we had to release him because that's the law. ICE wanted him because he was illegal, he was involved in other criminal activity that they were aware of. What, I do not know. That was not made privy to me, but they wanted him. And we released him. He is in the wind now. I don't know where he's at. So that begs the question to me, have I done everything I can to protect the citizens of Jackson County in that situation? I don't feel like I have. And that's why this warrant service model came to light. That's what began the communication between myself and immigration. And I think it's really important to keep this in context, because if everybody is very concerned about this circumstance, let me explain this to you. We have had one this year, one, and that is the circumstance that I'm telling you about. That is it. One. And we haven't had any since. And as far as cost associated with this, there is no academy. This is a training module that occurs via the internet that the deputies can take while they work in their downtime and complete it. And then a test has to be passed. In addition to that, they have to pass a background investigation through the feds. We are still in the middle of all of those things right now and talking about it. But that is it. There is no one going out and looking for anyone. We can't even arrest people under this model who have a warrant if we stop them. It is if they have been involved in a criminal action already and then have that warrant in the system. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comment is now closed. We have no special meetings of standing committees. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the April 15th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Have a motion and support? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. We've arrived at the consent agenda. Entertain a motion to the consent agenda? Have a motion and support? We have a motion and support. I'm waiting for the clerk to administratively finish the documentation. Upon that, you'll be posted in front of you on your computer.
Thank you for the delay. It's now posted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you. We've arrived at standing committees. Standing Committee, Public Safety and Transportation, chaired by Vice Chairman Corey Kennedy. Commissioner Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have no business tonight.
Thank you, sir. Standing Committee, General Government, chaired by Commissioner Phil Duckham. Commissioner Duckham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have one item of business tonight. That would be, excuse me, I've got my wires tangled up. That would be General Government Committee appointments, and we have two appointments to make tonight. Economic Development Corporation, we're appointing a member at large. The term expires on March of 2031. Currently, it's vacant. We had one applicant. That applicant was recommended to the full committee. The applicant name is Matt Swartzlander, and I would love to nominate him now. I just need a second.
We have a motion and support. Any nominations from the floor for an at-large seat? Hearing none, all in favor of Matt Swartzlander, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, do the same. Commissioner Duckham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Second is an Employee Retirement Committee, Commissioner seat. It expires on May of 28. Current member is James E. Shotwell Jr. James Shotwell Jr. was our loan applicant, and he was forwarded to the full board. I would love to nominate him for that position.
Support?
We have a motion and support. Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor of James E. Shotwell Jr. to represent the Board of Commissioners on the Retirement Board, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, duly carried. Commissioner Duckham.
That's
Thank you,
That's all we
sir.
have, Mr. Chair.
Standing Committee Human Services, chaired by Commissioner Earl Pileski. Commissioner Pileski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have appointments tonight as well. The first on the list is a position on the Lifeways Board for a term expiring in March of 2028. The current member is Carl Rice. We have an applicant this is a primary consumer applicant. I will tell you that this person is not yet eligible, and we have had no other applicants, so I do not recommend action at this time unless there is a nomination from the floor, sir.
Hearing none,
Hearing none, I'll move on, sir, to the Wellwise Area Agency on Aging. There is a public seat open for a term expiring April 2027, currently held by Deborah Shepard Eccleton. We had 4 excellent applicants: Karen Wooten, Jennifer Shimalewski, Shanice Davenport, and Brian Bowman. The committee recommendation is Karen Wooten.
are there any nominations from the floor?
I'd like to nominate Jennifer Shimalewski.
Any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Walls.
Shimalewski.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Jennifer Shimalewski.
Commissioner Duckham.
Jennifer Shimalewski.
Commissioner Pileski.
Wooten.
Commissioner Willis.
Shimalewski.
Commissioner Williams.
Shimalewski.
Commissioner Snell.
Wooten.
Commissioner Bear.
Wooten.
Chairman Shotwell.
Shimalewski,
Shimalewski passes.
6-3.
Yes.
Congratulations, Ms. Shimalewski, you won 6-3. Commissioner Pileski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The final appointment tonight is for a commissioner seat on the Wellwise Area Agency on Aging for a term expiring April of 2027. Current member is Commissioner Bear. Commissioner Snell is the applicant, and he is the committee recommendation.
Are there any nominations from the floor? All in favor of Commissioner Snell, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Pileski.
That takes care of our business this evening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We have no unfinished business to come before the board. Under new business. Any new business?
Our last board meeting, we did not pass an agreement with Leone Township on picking up signs. I'd like that referred back to the administrator for some more work on that. I think that I would like to see some changes to that. One being that political signs be exempt from township pickup. I'd like to have a model that we could use for every township, so we're not doing this piecemeal. And if we could have that done, however you need to, whether it comes back to our next meeting or if it goes to public safety transportation, that'd be fine.
Is there support for Commissioner Snell's motion?
Support.
We have support. So everyone understands we're going to be taking the description of what's gone on with 2 townships to the Administrator Controller's Office for review and see if we can create a blanket rules for this, so that way we're not having to vote for 19 separate townships and the 2 or 3 villages. All in favor of, Commissioner, hold on, we have discussion. Commissioner Duckham?
I would like a description again of what we're looking for and how it works.
What we're asking to do is to put the local sign ordinance that is currently under JDOT for the administrator controller to review it and find out if there's a blanket policy for the county we can pass instead of having to do each individual township.
Okay, does this include like billboards, stuff like that?
No, sir. No, this would be just temporary signage only that appears in the right of way, similar to what we've had to deal with the 2 townships.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If we're going to do this, hopefully Commissioner Snell realizes some of these townships went about themselves of making their own ordinance. So we'd probably need to look at those. And I would hope that the county one would supersede the township one, but I'm not sure that's how that operates in Michigan, which goes back to the core point of once the county gives up its legal right that it has to let townships enforce it, selective enforcement can occur. So I'd encourage, if administration is going to look at this, that they take a look at every township's active sign ordinance that they've passed. Some of them passed them recently.
Correct. So the answer to that, Corey, would be yes, they would review them all. Okay, and I, like you, don't think the answer is going to come back the way we think it's going to with the blanket thing. I think we're going to be told that we have to wait for each township to choose what it wants to do and then either accept or deny it. Okay, Commissioner Bear.
Thank you, Chairman. This motion just sends it to the administrator to ask for his advice in drafting a policy and presenting it to us. Once the administrator has done that, none of us are obligated to vote in favor of it.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Further questions? Commissioner Snell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, right now, we're kind of inconsistent. We've approved one for Columbia. We've told Leone no, basically the same exact form. I think we need to be consistent and apply it to all of the townships.
We will get that review and get legal review also. Any further comments? All in favor of sending it to the Administrator Controller's Office for review, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nope. That completes new business. We've returned to the second round of public comment. Public comment, each individual may state their name and have their 2 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment also. It may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate or answer questions at this time. Public comment.
Gayla Ignacio. There are a couple of things I would like to respond to. One is that there was only one incident. To me, that's not a good argument for 287G. To cause the fear that's been caused in our county for one incident, to have so many people terrified that they're asking for people to take their kids to school. They're afraid to go to work. Business is down in town. For one incident, we've caused all of this. The other argument that I don't think is valid is that we're only going to take people and give them to ICE if they have a warrant with ICE. There have been researchers researching, like research teams from 60 Minutes. They've got money, they've got a huge staff. They have looked throughout cities, counties, federal for the United States. They've checked Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. 75% of the 238 men sent to CCOT don't have any criminal record that can be found. How can we turn over people who are said to have an ICE warrant when we can't trust ICE to be accurate or genuine? So I don't think, as much as I like Sheriff Schutte personally, I don't think the fear that has been created in this county so that he can sleep at night over one incident is worth it. I also would like to speak to your prayer. I do have fear of retribution. It's why the coalition uses Signal and Proton email. I'm willing to pay the cost if retribution comes,
10 seconds.
but I can say that we're all afraid.
Good evening, Commissioners. Russ Jennings, Leone Township trustee. I'd like to thank Commissioner Snell on his efforts here to resolve something in reference to the Leone Township sign ordinance that was rejected by the Board of Commissioners last month. After discussion with Commissioner Kennedy, and I know exactly where he's coming from, and others, in reference to political yard signs. I was a yes vote on the Leone Township Board to ask the county to allow us to remove those signs. I think the intent is genuine. You go to the intersection and there's a gap of nasty advertising signs, and I think that is the intent, but the slippery slope is when you're in the battle of political campaign. I could see that, you know, you got permission to put a yard sign on a side street and it's in front of someone's yard and it happens to be in the right of way. I do know that there's going to be an attempt to remove those signs. So my discussion with the Leone Township Board wasn't so much political yard signs, but the guy that, you know, after contractors done, they put their sign out front by Joe Schmo. That could potentially be in the right of way. So I don't know if you can refine it down into the intent of the request. The request is the blight at the intersections. And I often wonder, I know they're strapped for money, but while they're out there, the county's out there patching them holes, couldn't they rip them signs up and throw them in the back of the group truck or something, you know? That would solve that problem right there. But thank you for your efforts.
You're out of
Commissioner
time,
Snell.
sir.
Jenna Shimoleski of Clark Lake again. I just wanted to thank you, Councilman Ward, for the recommendation, and I am excited to serve the Wellwise Board. Thank you so much.
Any other public comment?
Hi again. Was late, didn't hear exactly why the minutes from the April 15th meeting aren't online, but.
Can you please state your name?
Natalie Schroeder. I am a Jackson resident. Not sure why the minutes from April 15th aren't online. Maybe they needed to be approved tonight. Not sure how that works. Also, the video didn't work for the first comment period during that meeting. Hopefully it's working tonight. Because it wasn't working, I'm just going to state a couple facts here. Tony Bear, Margie Waltz, Corey Kennedy, Philip Duckham, James Shotwell, and Ray Snell voted to not have County Administrator's Office review the program where Sheriff has to assist ICE. They voted not to have that reviewed for legality and liability concerns. And in case you're not aware of what the issue is, which I think enough people have spoke to that tonight that you should by now, the Trump administration is ignoring the Supreme Court order to bring home an innocent citizen who was sent to El Salvador, which is a nonprofit prison there. He has asked the president of El Salvador to build 5 more prisons, and he's looking at prisons around the world so he can start extraordinary rendition of homegrowns, quote unquote, meaning full citizens of the USA. This is beyond a political issue. It's the basis of democracy. And I hear groaning, which I don't appreciate. Laws and
10
rights.
seconds, ma'am.
So the foundation of our democracy is not being upheld. This is.
You're out of time, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
I'm sorry, were you going to speak or did you speak? Okay. Good evening, Commission. I'm here tonight to speak on.
Your name, sir?
My name is William Hastings. I live in the city of Jackson. I'm here tonight to speak on the recent decision of the Commission to enter an agreement with the Chamber of Commerce in which the County Commission will provide $50,000 to help create some kind of long-term strategic plan for the county. I think I have very, very serious reservations about this. Beginning with the fact this is going to be outsourced to a firm in Ohio. I mean, I was thinking about this commission, how you have nine people, and if you include Mr. Overton as well, I would guess that between the people gathered here, you probably have 250 to 300 years of adult experience working in Jackson County, working in with nonprofits, working jobs, working in political, holding political office, schools. We have a man of the cloth, like all that stuff. And like some guy in Columbus, Ohio is going to like be able to, recreate the wheel for you. I think that is just preposterous. I'd also add that, so toward the end of last year, when, as we all remember, the long, harrowing experience involving funding the sheriff's department, it wasn't a pleasant experience for anyone. It was a difficult decision that the commission came to, and they said, okay, we just have to, hold on to our financial reserves and proceed in the manner that you chose to do. Well, that was kind of with the stipulation. It was with the understanding that, okay, well, this is it. We'd like to help the sheriff's department, but the pantry is bare.
10 seconds, sir.
if the pantry is bare, several months ago, you simply cannot make the case for spending $50,000 on a plan of this nature. Thank you.
Hi, this is my first time being here. My name is Lydia Soltis, and I'm her daughter. I would first like to ask the gentleman behind me to consider if he's only watching one channel, because it sounds to me like he's a little bit of a hypocrite, probably been watching a lot of Fox News and little else.
Address your questions and comments to the Board of Commissioners, ma'am.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
America has historically been very good at finding scapegoats in people who don't often get a voice. And we're seeing that in how ICE is treating immigrants. I don't remember specific names, but I remember stories of families separated, of children who are scared to go to school, and mothers who are afraid to send them. I think America stands for more than that, and we are not acting fairly. We're not considering the current state of things and the danger posed by giving ICE more power than they already have. I believe in Americans. I believe we're good people and we have potential to make the right choice. I'm sort of losing a little bit of faith in us right now, but I'm going to just hope that we are
10
able to
seconds, ma'am.
see distinctions in individual cases and not just view all. Not every immigrant is a criminal.
You're out of
Many
time,
are
ma'am.
not. Thank you.
Shirley Schumann Allegre. I want to thank Sheriff Schutte for his comments. I think it's very helpful to hear. I think we have to be reminded of something, though, if we were in the position that many are. People who are not here legally but are working are assigned something called an I-10 number. That I-10 number allows them to pay into Social Security. It allows them to be able to work. However, one of the reasons that they got so many people to sign up for it is that there was a commitment that the information about them would not be shared. That information is now being shared. So many people are in tremendous fear. So I think a lot of the concern comes from the fact that things start out on a really good front. And I appreciate and respect, again, the comments that were made. However, we also have to realize that unfortunately, many times things go beyond the scope of the original intent. And so I would ask you to also consider that. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comment is now closed. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Duckham?
Thank you. I'm fighting with a very touchy microphone. I hear all this fear of ICE talk going around. First of all, I'd like to say immigration is good. We all have family members that have immigrated in the past. But I can also add that all the family members that's immigrated in the past use the system. The fear that you're speaking of is caused by people that broke the law. They know they broke the law, and now they're running scared. Because they broke the law. But like I say, immigration's a good thing. We gotta use
Phil,
the
don't
system.
debate with them, please, just make comments.
I am.
Thank you, sir.
I'm reading right off my list. Immigration outside the law is a crime. And I applaud the sheriff for his enforcement of the federal law. It's not up to a county commission to try to override a federal law. That isn't what we do.
Ma'am, please keep your peace. Thank you.
And the statement, you cannot trust ICE, is not a fair statement. Fear is caused by the avoidance of using the system. We like immigrants, we need immigrants.
Ma'am, I please ask you to be quiet or I'll ask you to leave. You were allowed to speak first, and then Commissioner Duckham spoke. So please give him his moment. Thank you.
I agree, you don't agree with this, but the things that you're asking for is simply stall tactics. And we have a federal law, it's being enforced. I applaud the government from the top all the way down to Sheriff Schutte for equally applying the law. Another topic is signs in the right of way. I can't help but wonder.
Sir and ma'am, both of you, I'm going to ask you to leave, ma'am. This is your second warning.
I would like to add that this man just threatened my mom.
I didn't threaten her, I said she can.
He did. It was pretty much a threat, yes.
Sir and ma'am, I'm going to ask you, this is your first warning to please be quiet. Thank you.
I'm not a liar. That's what he just said.
Ma'am, this is your second warning. Phil?
Go ahead, I'm sorry. The signs in the right of way, I agree it's a good thing, let's get it standardized. I only wish so many commissioners would have been concerned about cameras in the right of way that do nothing but spy on us everywhere we go. No difference in the signs. Thank you.
John Willis?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to say that I too am a strong supporter of Sheriff Schutte. However, and he's not just a person I support, he's a friend. However, we have strongly disagreement on the 287G. And I want to explain to you why, just clarify some of the things that we've heard tonight. For about a 2-year period, the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office in New York detained approximately 650 individuals beyond their scheduled release at the date and request of the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That's ICE. These detentions were based on ICE detainer requests, which are administrative notices asking law enforcement to hold individuals for up to 48 hours after their release dates to facilitate the request of ICE and Homeland Security. It was determined in January of 2025 that Suffolk County violated the 4th and 14th amendments of these 650 detainees, and as a result, the county was held liable for damages up to $60 million. $60 million. This is real. Here's the thing. Why do we say ICE has been weaponized or they're doing different? Because they're not acting properly. We have Abrego Garcia arrested and sent to another country by their own admission, mistakenly. But we won't do the thing to get it right. You can't ask me to trust you if you're constantly smacking me in my face. You can't ask me to do that. Understand this. This year, one of the most hurtful things to me is that the Hispanic community in Jackson canceled the Hispanic Heritage Festival out of fear. This is not just something that's made up. This is understanding that, yes, this is a time of cultural celebration and you want to get out and dance for Cinco de Mayo, you want to do all this celebrating, but you don't want to speak up when things are not happening properly. We have to be challenged. We have to stand up for those who don't have a voice.
So while Sheriff Schutte will still be a great friend of mine, I have to speak to him to let him know how I think some people may be negatively affected, how our county may be negatively financially affected if we don't take a deep look at what's happening. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Bear.
Thank you, Chairman. Our fantastic President, Donald J. Trump, is pro-legal immigration. His wife is a legal immigrant. Our fantastic Vice President, J.D. Vance, is in favor of legal immigration. His wife is a legal immigrant. Our country is no different than my house. If you ask to come in, if you tell me you want to come over and I agree, yeah, you can come in my house. But if you don't have my permission to enter my house and you break in, you're a criminal. We have a legal immigration process. Immigration is a legal process. And if you want to follow the legal process, as my grandparents did, and my great-great-great-grandparents did, they became citizens. But when you cross our border illegally, that is a crime. So those that came here crossing our border illegally, yeah, they are criminals. They broke our laws, they committed a crime. And as our sheriff said, nobody's being picked up for anything relative to their legal immigration or illegal immigration status. It's not happening. This is just a political movement. To me, it's just a bunch of Democrats that lost the election. They're complaining. It's people suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, that anything that Trump does, you guys are just against, no matter what it is.
Ma'am, Ma'am, I'm afraid you're gonna have to leave.
All right, I will. And proudly.
Goodbye. So immigration is different than illegally crossing our border. Immigrants, I support. Illegal border crossers, I do not support. Our sheriff and ICE would never show up at a ethnic festival looking to arrest people. People say that they're afraid of showing up for those festivals. I don't believe you. I think that's just a political smokescreen you're blowing out there. I don't believe you. That's where I stand. I support legal immigration.
Any other commissioner comments? Corey, Commissioner Kennedy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think we've gotten into the weeds quite a bit tonight in regards to what county commissioners are responsible for. Can respect everyone's opinion. We're obviously going to have differences of opinion. I agree with Sheriff Schutte, still do. I think it's responsible. I think it'd be irresponsible to let someone that committed a crime and is also here illegally back on the streets. It's a common sense approach. Outside of that, there was a comment made tonight that the minutes aren't posted. I wanted to go and check it, and I did from a public site on my phone. They are up, they always are. The county's very, very transparent. So it sounds like a couple of you out there maybe aren't familiar with the site, need a little bit of direction as to what you do. If you just Google Jackson County Board of Commissioners, click it, then click the site, scroll down, and it'll go to agendas and minutes. Hit available on board docs. Click on meetings. Click on the year 2025. Go to April 15th, 2025. And you can view the agenda, and you can also view the minutes. They're all right there for you. So just wanted to make that clear to everybody. They're up there. A lot of times people get up during public comment, make accusations that aren't accurate. That was one of them. Thanks. Have a great night. Hope you all travel home safely.
Any other public comment or commissioner comments? Commissioner Snell, then Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One thing that we all need to remember, and we know this on the board, there's very little control we can do with the sheriff. We can control his budget, but we're not going to cut his budget. He's on skeleton staff as it is. He doesn't have the money to do some of the things that you're worried about. And the things that he can do aren't any of those things that you're worried about. I think the sheriff's got a good plan, and I fully support it. I'm just kind of amazed sometimes that people think that we have all this power, and we don't. The sheriff is an elected official. They have their duties that they have to do, and we don't get to interfere with that. Our clerk has duties that only she can do, and we can't tell her what to do. The same with the prosecuting attorney, the same with any elected official. So I'll continue to support the sheriff. If he does something that's not supposed to be done, we'll certainly talk to him about it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I stand by and thank Commissioner Willis for his comments on tonight. But I want to speak to a connected matter, but something that's very near and dear to my heart. As there was a lot of conversation tonight on the idea of being afraid and the idea of losing hope. And so I just want to encourage each and every one of you, regardless as to where you align yourselves politically, religiously, whatever dividing line that we oftentimes come up with. I just want to encourage you to never lose hope. I know that we are currently undergoing some trying times. I know it seems as if we're climbing upward and we're continuing to keep climbing, but yet, as an old phrase in an old song that says, we're climbing up the rough side of the mountain. But yet, although we're climbing up the rough side of the mountain, let's acknowledge the fact that we're still moving. With this county, this city that I certainly love, certainly has its bumps in the road. But we as a community, the best way for us to handle difficult conversations and to handle difficult situations is that when we come together, we have those difficult conversations, we work through matters, and the best way for us to do that is when we bring both of those thoughts, both of those minds together and have corporate conversations. That's what helps us to move forward. Now, sometimes we may have to agree to disagree, but the fact that we don't allow these issues to hinder us and to make the place that we love and call home a negative place helps us in the long run. So I just want to encourage you to keep your hand on the plow and to never, no matter what the problem is, to never lose hope. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other commissioner comments who haven't spoken? Commissioner Walls.
Thank you. And it's nice to see that we hear a lot of voices from our community. We may not always agree with each and every voice. One thing I will tell you that I've learned in my short venture here is that this is not an easy chair to sit in. And so I want to thank each and every one of these gentlemen. I know that they personally put in hours and hours and hours talking to their constituents and representing them. So also Sheriff Schutte, our Kelsey, our new prosecutor, they also put in hours beyond what they get paid for. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that they do the best job they can. Also, Ms. Shimaluski, your presence here made a difference. So thank you for showing up tonight, because I think that when we can see a face, when we can hear a voice, and we can hear the passion in your voice, it makes a difference in your vote. Thank you.
We have no closed session this evening. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Support.
We have a motion and support. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.